Hey, everybody, Walter Crosby with Helix Sales Development, your host of Sales and Cigars. Today's episode, it might be of interest to you if you're an entrepreneur or a founder who's going out into the marketplace to gather funds, to pitch, to get somebody to give you some money for you to expand your business one way or the other. So my guest is Sergio Yankovenko. I screwed up his last name, but Sergio. Sergio is from the Ukraine, and his business is all about helping founders and entrepreneurs create pitch decks that will actually tell a story that's going to help you get the funding that you're looking for. We talk about his process. We talk about what you need to think about before you even start this, what you need to do to be successful. So go grab a cigar, grab a cocktail, strap in for another exciting episode of Sales and Cigars. Thanks. Sergio, welcome to Sales and Cigars. I appreciate you taking some time to be with us.
Thank you to having me today, and hope your listeners will catch something useful.
I'm sure they will. You're in the Ukraine, so talk to me. Like what time is it in the Ukraine? Late
Uh,
night.
right, right now it's about 9 p.m.
Hmm, okay. Um, so like I say, I appreciate you jumping on in the evening. So let's kind of jump right into like, is there a book that you gift or you reread regularly that you think is valuable to business owners?
Um, uh, the valuable book it would be Presentation Zen. It's a really familiar book about how to present correctly your product, and probably this is uh, a significant handbook to understand how to tell about the business, and this is really I have one uh, nearby me, and this really useful book.
It helps people understand how to tell the story and what's
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
Get
What's
people to
important, how to build it, how to tell, how to storytell, and so on.
awesome. Okay. So let talk to us a little bit about your journey. Right, um, you're an entrepreneur. You're in Ukraine. I think that's an interesting story for our listeners. Most of our listeners are in the states. So how do you go about going from a young man to doing what you're doing now?
Uh, I s- I actually rise from entrepreneur family, so I have this example from my parents, from my brother who also do the business, and if we tell my particular journey, I started like a designer and then move to telling the stories, because it's actually interesting stuff, because one of my clients, I work with him like a design, uh, and he asked me to help the build pitch deck to his project. He have a flight to the New York to trade show, and we do this pitch deck online, like with you on the call, all night from my time. And this is really funny stuff, because about we finish about 7 a.m. in my time, and about 3 p.m. I get message from him. I get raised 3 million at the startup. So, and so excited, and this was like voice message with this emotion, and from that point I understand that my ideas how to tell story really works, and this is like a regular example how the story can change the business, can change the life.
That's a cool story. I mean, you have the entrepreneurial background with your family, but you literally catch the bug because you help somebody, and you had immediate impact on somebody else's life and getting a business off the ground. It's a great story. I love it. Um, so so that's how you started. So your graphic. I'm assuming it was graphic design that you were involved in. Yes.
Yeah, firstly, after the high school, I start like doing graphic design only. As I previously worked in print factory, and I know how to do some business cards and so on. So I start do like online, but some brochures, some business cards, and so on. But this is not what I really like to do because uh, I'm mostly about how to tell story, and story really important, and story have real impact in lives.
Yeah. Well, I think the story is the critical part, and we'll get to that. But I also think that the imagery that you create, you had a strong foundation in creating the right illustration or the right graphics in a deck to make sure that people are seeing the right things, and there's a connection between that image and the words that we're telling, the story we're telling. That that that's a different skill set that when you can combine those, you have a huge advantage.
Yeah, you're fully correct. Uh, but in area of pitch deck, this is less important what you show. This most important what you say. Because most of the startup founders or business owners they to have high impact to visuals, but the visuals can only support your words,
Right.
not like overload or hide if something isn't correct with your business.
Yeah. Yeah. They need to complement, but the story is the driving factor. But they need to be congruent, I think. So we know how you got started, and your background is there to support it. So we have entrepreneurs in this audience who are listening, and they might be starting a company, or they might be looking to go out and secure some more equity, whether that be from a VC or a private equity firm. But so when what do they need to do to be ready, to be prepared to start to create this story? What are the elements they should be thinking about first?
Uh, the first, what you should start, and it's understand with who you will be talk, because private equity firm or VC funds or personal investors, they really different people, and they looking for quite different information from you about your business. Uh, and
So know your target.
you yeah, you need to know your audience first. Then you need to understand, do you have the capacity of information to tell? Maybe you need to do additional research. Maybe you need to put additional numbers about your business to make this story. um uh, you need to create some kind of FOMO from your potential investor.
So we got to be able
And
to find the components of the story. What's going to be the arc of the story, and what information do we that we have that's missing? Maybe we don't know our target audience well enough, or we don't know our capabilities well enough. We need to put all those pieces together before we can start to have a conversation with anybody.
yeah, as I used to say, you will never have second chance to get first impression.
Mhm. Hmm. Absolutely. Um, so if they're understanding who they're talking to for this a pitch to gain whatever it is that they're looking for. They need to know that audience. They need to understand who they are and what they can talk about that's compelling. Um, and that's a lift for some people because it might not be about them and the company. It needs to be focused on their their customers and how they impact the community and what they're looking to change in the world. Or am I wrong about that?
Uh, this is depends. Uh, uh, we can bring step back to who you will be talking, because VC funds, if they not specifically targeting to global impact, they interested about your numbers and how you will earn money to them. If you like early stage company or early stage founder and you go to some personal investment firm, or this is called like angel investor, they mostly invest to founder and what you trying to do. So they less care about your numbers, they more care about your story. So this kind of slide like mission, vision, what it a bit outdated for now.
Okay. Um, so the audience is mostly established companies that might be looking to increase their capacity or diversify to create new products, right? They have an idea. So
Mhm.
if that's their angle, they want to be able to get some funding to buy some equipment, hire some people to go execute on this diversification to create new product. What's the important part of that? How do we tell that story?
To tell that story, we need to include as much numbers as possible. So you already have the established company, you already have some sales, you already have some revenue, and so on. So you need to show that to potential investor. So investor understand how quickly and in what way investor can get money back, because mostly the investor target is invest and get 3 5 10x after from that investments.
And what time frame for somebody who's doing let's say angel investor? They've got a longer term horizon, yes?
Uh, yes, angel investor, they invest in not much amount, but they invest in a lot of different startups. And usual terms what they invest, it's about 1 3 years. But it's dependent of the company, because some type of company like medtech or maybe some biotechnology company, they need a lot of research, so it can be much more. This is depends of the agreement what you get,
Sure.
because some of companies who have deal with new technology, for example some drugs, some supplements and so on, they have long range to improvement before they get to the market.
Okay. So if we're talking about a mature company, they have history, they have a track record, they want to diversify, and they want to add a product line, right? And they believe the product line, their competitors have it, and they need to go get it to to be competitive and to grow, to grab the market share. So can you help the audience understand what does it look like for you to work with them? Like, what are they going to have to think about? What are they going to need to do to work through that whole process? Does that take 10 minutes, 12 weeks, 12 days, 12 months? Kind of talk a little bit about your process to get there.
My usual process it's about five clear steps, and from the start to end it takes about 2 3 weeks to get ready deck. But this depends if this some corporation or some really big company. We need to have some calls to approval, and other step it can take longer. Um, I used to work with managers or person who take decisions who have this ability, and this make process much quicker.
Yeah.
Uh, about your original question, what they should think about, uh, what they actually wanted to offer the potential investor. So
Okay.
if they want to open some new branch of existing business, need to clearly understand the terms what they offer to investor.
Okay.
And this is really good. You believe this product will be really popular, but need some kind of find the middle, stay a bit grounded to clearly understand. Uh, in this case, I advise to have some type of projection like normal case, best case, and worst case. So to build credibility with investor, okay, if our project wouldn't be work, we will get this. If this everything would be good, we will get this. If everything the best, we will get this. So investors shouldn't guess your potential numbers and etc. It should be maximum clear as possible.
Okay. So we've got, I just kind of want to summarize some of this so that we keep everybody on the same page. We want to be clear about who we're talking to and asking for the money. We want to be clear about, who our targets are and what compelling reason we have to do this. We want to make sure that that if it's private equity, they care about what their return is and numbers. And if we're pitching based on the founder's idea, then that's bigger part of the story. But they really need to understand what it is that they're doing, what the likely outcomes are going to be, and where the risk is, because we haven't talked about risk. That's we do we how much do we share the risk involved in this transaction?
Uh, we can mention it verbally, but we no need to highlight on this point. So usually I not take some one slide to describe the risks, but we can implement this to the story. To
We
the
want to
story,
acknowledge
what we
it, but don't dwell. Acknowledge, but don't dwell.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, what is there? Are there any other like must-have elements of a really good pitch deck?
Uh, in my experience, must have you need to clearly know how much money you need, because many founders they have no idea how much they need, and to investor it seems like you don't do your homework, and because this is a bit ridiculous when you go to investor and okay, how much you can give me, and then I think how I will spend it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We gotta be clear about what it is we want and why we want it, and not hoping that you give me a little something. Uh, let's talk a little bit about what the founder or the business owner Some people are comfortable going on the road and pitching these ideas, and some aren't. Um, so for the people that struggle with this idea of pitching and talking about themselves and about the success that they want to create, do you have any best practices or any guidance for that person who's a little reluctant to go on the pitch road?
We all have nervous before pitching, before telling uh, uh, about self. So this is only one advice. It's practice. So you need to do before the mirror. You need to try to pitch to your friends, to tell, and as much time you repeat this story, a better result you will have, a better confidence you will have, because some people can nature go to the stage, talk, and people believe to them. But mostly this is not the work for everyone. You need to prepare before actual meeting. And For example, you have your script. It can be some key points what you wanted to say, and if you will repeat it at least 3 times before actual meeting, you will get much more confidence. Then you thrive on live, like, okay, let's have a call, let's discuss.
Yeah, it's sort of like any other skill that is a skill for salespeople is to practice what they need to do in front of their customers, and that's great advice, is to practice. When I've been on to go give a speech or to go on stage, um, I know I've written um, the draft that I took from what I started with what I ended. I did 18 revisions of my speech, and then I practiced it every day for 2 weeks. As you said, some of it just by myself in front of a mirror. Some of it I recorded so I could really look at what I was doing. I sent it to somebody who was helping me. So the more you practice, the more comfortable you are, which allows you to be more confident. Is that your experience? If they're comfortable, they're
Yeah,
confident.
yeah, this is correct. Actually, great advice to record yourself on the video and then review it. Because on the video you can catch some body movement, what you do at the actual video, and you can find the model and say your work inside.
Yeah, yeah, because we all have our own idiosyncrasies, right? We do things that we don't realize unless we can see it. It's
Yep.
it's it's interesting. So, is there a common mistake that you see with with pitch decks? Is there one or two things that people do that is causes them to fail besides not
Um,
practicing?
Mostly this is unpreparedness. And second thing is try to uh, tell everything about the your business at sending pitch deck. So before the actual meeting happen, person create the pitch deck at 35, 55 slides, tell everything, every small details about their business, and actually this leads to this pitch deck never no one opens,
Right.
um,
It's intimidating.
because yeah, this too complicated, and interesting stuff. Last year we get the DocSend report, what typical investor spent 2 minutes 43 seconds to read your pitch deck.
Hmm.
And if you not catch attention at that time, you will lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a very short window um, to get somebody's attention. And really, what we're talking about is pitching is a form of selling. When we're doing this, so I, I I remember I read a book years ago, and the advice of the guy that was that written it, his name was Orrin Claff, and it was about that first 30 seconds that these people are sitting in the room, and you need to um, grab their attention by helping them see why they should listen, why they should continue to listen and not just get up and walk out of the room. And there was a line, and I'm kind of curious your thought here. The line was, you know, that really big problem with, and then you fill in the blank. We solved that. So if that big problem, I mean, if that fits into the narrative, and you've created a great solution to a big problem, they're going to lean in and listen. Um, is there is there another way to think about that to grab their attention? I mean, we got to give them some kind of big impact at the beginning, right?
Yeah, you need to understand. So, if you go to investor, they don't know the problem what you're solving. Uh, you need to create in their mind understanding this is real problem and people struggle from it and people ready to pay for solution for it. Uh, Mostly if we tell about online business, online solution like SaaS and any other type of application, uh, you need to get the clear understanding from on the investor. We can compare the storytelling actual the pitch deck like movie trailer. So you watch the trailer somewhere on the YouTube or any other sources, and okay, I go to the cinema. I wanted to watch full movie. So this kind of pitch deck do the same thing. The main key of the pitch deck brings you befront of the investor, brings you to the video call, to personal meeting, and so on. Then you can sell your idea by your charisma, by answer the questions, and so on. So and you correctly mentioned you have only 30 seconds to get the attention. But right now, in the age of some quick videos and so on, this attention window become much more shorter than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So you need to only 5 7 maybe second to get this attention, so you need to start from the understanding from some big problem what you're trying to solve.
Yeah. And then we have to help them understand that it is a big problem because they might not have all the context. So that's a really good. So I think the big takeaway here, Sergio, is that this is complicated. There's nuances, and if somebody's going to go to market, they need help. They need a professional. Um, and you've dropped a bunch of ideas here, things for people to think about. So if somebody's interested in learning more, what's the best way for them to reach out to Sergio and ask
uh,
questions?
I They can just go to my LinkedIn page and connect with me by message, or I have a direct link to book the call with me, and it's free. We can have a call, just talk, and maybe I can help.
Got it. So we'll have the link in for LinkedIn there. The link for LinkedIn. That's good, Walter. We'll have that in the show notes so people can go down and just click on that. Um, and I appreciate you taking the time and sharing your insights here, Sergio. Last question: past or present, any relationship with cigars?
I actually smoking, but some regular cigarettes, not the cigars, because right now, especially in war, it's hardly to find it,
Yeah.
especially good one. So, but I have this kind some kind of ritual. Just take one cigarette, go with cup of coffee, and before your day started, th- uh, this is some kind of ritual to me.
And that ritual, the cup of coffee and the cigarette, is it 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes? What is that?
It's usually 5-10 minutes enough to wake up and to bring your mind together.
To get that little dose of nicotine at that time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
so cigars are hard to find in the Ukraine given the situation and the conflict, but cigarettes you can still find.
Yeah, yes. This one can available right now.
Well, I wish you well. That's a terrible situation. Stay safe, and thank you for taking the time to jump on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to and watch this podcast. It's really important to me that we're adding value to our audience, the entrepreneurs, the founders, the people out there taking the risk. And I don't know that you guys realize how important it is to do what you're doing. Being an entrepreneur, I mean, you're creating opportunities for everybody in your organization. You're creating opportunities for your customers. You're creating opportunities in the community. And I think that every once in a while, when things, being an entrepreneur is tough, right? We know this, but I think it's every once in a while we need to take a moment in those tough moments and think about how cool it is that we get to do this and how much we actually are providing value to so many people. So you need to appreciate what you do, not just for your people, but for yourself. You're doing some great work, right? You might have a bad day from time to time, but you're doing great work. Keep after it, have some fun, and just enjoy this process. I thank you again for listening to this podcast. We've been doing this for a while. Our audience is growing. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss an episode, or at least have an opportunity to track it. Tell your friends. We're trying to have fun. If you got ideas, please share. If you have an idea for a guest or if you have an idea for a topic, please share. Thanks again, guys. Bye.